Pop Culture Yearbook. On this show, we pick pieces of pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss our memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Giff.
All right, and we got a special show tonight. It's not really memories or shows or anything because we're playing a game that Gifford is renowned for creating. Yeah. I shouldn't say creating because he stole it, but
I stole it.
Well, you modified it and made it your own.
But your questions are witty and thoughtful, and you're really good at it. So,
just like Gifford is as a person, he's witty and
when
thoughtful,
we play this, we
really
need some contestants because it was just me and Pete. It'd be pretty boring, and so we have invited a variety of people on today. Pete, what do we love on this show?
We love nostalgia.
That's not what I was looking for tonight.
Oh,
we love diversity and inclusion. This is our deep dive.
We've never ever said that's.
I know.
Did I answer that correctly? Yeah, you
did. And first off, Pete hates diversity and inclusion. I mean, come on.
No.
Out of him.
No, I'm wearing the Epicenter for Change Minnesota Twins T-shirt.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
When you hear the stable of
all about diversity
and shows that they are bringing with tonight, you will understand it's we're covering a wide, broad swath here tonight. So I'm going to go through in the order that they joined us tonight. So I'm going to start with Sean. So we have Sean from the Smokin Sounds podcast. Say hi, Sean.
Hey, everybody. Hey, thank you so much for having me on. It is so good to finally meet you guys in person. Like I said just a minute ago, I feel like I've known you guys forever, listening to the podcast, having conversations back and forth on X, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. So I really appreciate you guys thinking of me and having me on with you tonight.
Yes, I wanted to ask you a long time because you have been, we have this kind of podcast family now that I feel like we found, and you were like in on that from the very beginning, and you've never been on our show, but you were definitely always supporting us on Twitter, especially. And you've had different podcasts out there, and you've always been somebody that been very aware of. And I've heard you so many times on your shows and other people's shows that I feel like we know you too. So Sean is coming from Oklahoma.
Yep. And
Sean's podcast, he's got a wide variety of things he does, but it's centered around cigars. So Sean, tell us about your podcast and teach me something about cigars because I don't smoke.
Okay. So I'm one of the hosts of Smokin Sounds. My co-host, his name is Justin Eagle. We met back in the day. We went to broadcasting school together. And one of the things, Justin, my co-host, is blind. And so what kind of really made us become friends was after broadcasting school, I would take him to run errands, get groceries, things like that. And he asked me one day, he said, "Hey, you ever had a cigar?" And then I smoked cigarettes at the time, and I said, "No." So we went to a place called the Tobacco Pouch. We actually record from there every now and again now. But Justin took me in, and I had my first cigar with him, a Punch Maduro, and that was kind of our routine. We would go on Mondays. We would go get the Bigfoot pizzas from Little Caesar, and we would go watch Monday Night War with Raw and Nitro. And we used to call Justin Digipop because he had two TVs, so we could watch Raw on one and Nitro on the other. We thought he was cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Nice.
I'm not sure he didn't have a stolen digital cable box. For those nostalgia listeners out there, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. But so fast forward several years, and I was doing a nostalgia podcast, and I really had a lot of fun with it. And the gentleman that was co-hosting with me, we just kind of had to put it to the side for family reasons and things. And my wife has always told me, she said, "If you're ever going to have success in the podcast world, it's going to be with Justin." And so I called him up one more day and I said, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" I said, "Let's call it Smokin Sounds. We'll talk about cigars." The thing that we wanted to do was start a podcast for people that were new to cigars. So Brad, let's say you've never had a cigar before in your life. So I'm going to tell you, don't do what I did. Don't go to the Punch Maduro because that's like the strongest cigar that you can go to. When you get Nick sick, your stomach hurts, you feel like you're spinning. Don't do that. So we want to try to. Our objective was to try to steer people into like, okay, let's start with a nice Connecticut shade cigar, maybe a Palomino from Stallone. So that was kind of what our thought was, and then we started recording, and it just kind of went everywhere. We're kind of like the ADHD kids of podcasting, because we have good intentions, we just cannot stay on track. So we don't edit, we don't script, we show up and we hit record, and we've been very fortunate to not only be accepted by the cigar and pipe community, but by the nostalgia community like you guys. And obviously I would be not mentioning Dave and Rob at Totally 80s and 90s Recall, because I feel like that's kind of the epicenter of all this, right? That's kind of how we found each other, and Jim and Lindsay over at Children of the 80s. So so Smokin Sounds, I call us an authentic podcast. You never know what you're going to get.
Sweet.
And so I've noticed, you have quite a good following on Instagram. So the cigar podcast community must be a pretty big deal, huh? Of course, I'm not a part of that really, but seems like that's a pretty big niche.
Yeah. So Justin and it's funny because like I said, I've known Justin forever, and the guy's never been bashful a day in his life until we hit record on our first episode. And it was like he couldn't talk. You could hear the nerves in his voice. But on our first or second episode, I don't remember exactly which one. It was our second one, because Justin kind of started to see all the feedback he was getting from being on, and he said, I've learned real quick in this that this podcasting thing, it's a community, not a competition.
That's the first thing we found
and you guys, and you guys know that as well, right? There's no one that encourages each other more than us, and that's what I loved about Dave and Rob, or Jim and Lindsay, or you guys. You got a question or you got an idea, man, you reach out, and you guys, we always make time for each other, and the cigar community has been just as open and accepting of us. And Justin is primarily a pipe smoker, and pipe smokers are your typical pipe smokers are very introverted. So they were kind of a harder nut to crack, if you will. But we've started to get a lot of good feedback from pipe smokers and stuff. So we've, like I said, we've just been very fortunate to be welcomed into the community the way we have. And we just got PCA certified, which is a Premium Cigar Association. We are a Tier 1 media group for them now. So we will be in New Orleans next year covering the PCA, which is kind of like the Super Bowl for cigar makers and stuff next year.
Well, I think if I decide to go this direction, I think I'll go to the pipe smoking route. That sounds right for me.
That does sound good. I could see you being a pipe smoker, Brad.
Really? Yeah.
I'm
an English teacher. I'll put on my vest, and I'll try to
smoking jacket.
Put a smoking jacket, right?
That's what Justin says. He says once a man takes to a pipe, he becomes a philosopher. Once a man takes to a cigar, he becomes powerful. So, I think that's one of the things too that helps us too, is that Justin is primarily a pipe smoker, but he's very extroverted. So, that's kind of an odd combination. And I think we play well off of each other in the podcast. And we're going to hopefully get Matt on with us. I've been, talking to him, and you guys will meet Matt here in just a little bit. Obviously you guys already know him and love him. But we always have an open invitation. We call, when we're recording out here in the garage, we call it the Carho Lounge, and there's always a seat if anyone wants to jump on just to hang out with us. So that's Smokin Sounds in a nutshell there.
Nice. One follow-up question: is the shirt coming off tonight?
So if we were spinning the wheel and taking bets, I would say there's probably a good chance of it landing on red, which is it's hot. Shirt's probably coming off, and I even downgraded. I've got the Smokin Sounds tank top on, so I don't have that much further to go.
Right.
So unfortunately, Jim and Lindsay, they got almost a full Monty the last time I was on with them. So.
Well, it was
by the way, that's part of the rules. I don't know if you heard. Gifford hasn't read off the rules of the game yet, but if you get a question wrong, you got to take something off, right?
Right.
Hey,
that's correct.
Spin the wheel, spin the bottle. Let's go.
I will say I'd be a little more concerned if you were wearing the Smokin Sounds tube top. Yeah, that would really come off easy.
Well, it's funny you said that, because I actually, so we have a little bonfire store, where we make our t-shirts and stuff, and I ordered one. Unfortunately, I didn't notice that it was a youth size, so I do have one in there that we could, I just don't have my belly button pierced yet for the summer, so we're going to hold off on putting that one on.
Excellent.
All right. Our second guest is Derek, and he is from a podcast about movies, and he's actually from a whole nother country. So he's coming to us from Canada tonight, which feels like Minnesota. Like we're kind of the same here anyway. But
We basically
Eric,
are.
welcome
We're
to our
Minnesota
show.
North.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or we're Canadian South, one of the two.
International.
Yeah.
By the
Especially
way, because Gifford lives in Bemidji, which is way up in the northern half, so he's basically Canadian.
We
2
haven't
hours.
told Derek yet, but he will be assessed a 40% tariff.
I was going to say,
just for
yeah.
being
I was
on our
going to say,
show.
thanks for paying the 25% tariff to get me on the show. Yeah.
All right, well, say hi, Derek, and tell us about your show and your Facebook page and whatever you want.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name's Derek. I've been podcasting. I was telling these guys for the better part of the last since 2008, basically, when it was downloadable MP3s and there was no hosting, no Spotify, no iTunes. I host 2 podcasts. Our main one is called the Or Is It Movie Podcast, where we try to find the real story behind the story. My partner is Mark, Mean Mark, we call him. He is. We were both former stand-up comedians, and we would find.
Oh, really?
We find sort of humorous, real stories behind the story, whether it be meta throughout the through the story of the movie, or something maybe backstage from the production. Good example, Street Fighter. You guys remember Street Fighter from 1995?
Oh, yeah.
Is it the story of Guile going up against M. Bison, or is it somebody watching the Super Mario Brothers movie and said, no one can make a worse movie than that, and his friend said, hold my beer. That's the kind of thing that we do. Plus, we poke fun at the movie and have some fun. Sure. The other one we do is film studies, and we just review movies in theaters and on streaming. We brought in streaming because of the pandemic, obviously. So... we've just been lately we've been trying to reach out. We've been getting guests on our shows because it's always more fun with guests, and lately we have our regular one, Scott White from the Dan Aykroyd podcast. He's a friend of comedian as well that I met while I was working at a comedy club here in town. So he joins us, and then we met Mike and Brian from the 70s versus the 80s, I think that you had on last week. And they've been on our show, and we've done their show. And then through them, I discovered you guys, and I've listened to almost your entire backlog. So yeah, I'll say it again.
Wow.
I think seeing your faces, it's like when you listen to a podcast, you get an idea of what you think the guys look like, what the voices look
Are
like.
you horribly disappointed?
And you see
None
them,
of
and they're
you
way
look
uglier, right?
None of you look like I thought you would. Pete's maybe the closest. I pictured a giant beard on GIF, but
which is funny because I cannot
It's a
grow
challenge.
facial hair to save my life.
fair enough.
So you guys, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
No.
please go ahead. I don't know where
I
I'm
just
going.
say you guys do a lot of bad movies on the Or Is It, and so I've listened to a few of those recently. And we just did The Room for the second time.
Yes.
So I would obviously I've heard your show, but like, give these two guys or everybody what are your overall thoughts on The Room? We got to hear it because it's a big show for us here at Pop.
We
Culture.
haven't
is
covered
the-
the room on our show.
Oh, you have
It was
to.
kind of an unwritten rule because back when we started it back in I think 2012, that's when The Room was getting a resurgence of popularity.
That's
People
about
were
when we
discovering it.
started to watch it. Yeah.
And everyone, there were movies that we decided that we weren't going to cover, and The Room was one of them. Birdemic was one of them.
But you did do Birdemic, right?
But we did do Birdemic
Yes,
recently.
I thought I just
we're
looked
running
at that one not long ago.
Yeah. So we finally decided that the moratorium on that is over. So, but we haven't done The Room. The Room is, well, it's a movie.
Is it though?
That's kind of what
It is.
Gifford thought.
It is unique. If you've never seen it, it's wonderful. I haven't seen it in probably a good 10 years now, and I was listening to your show, both shows actually, that you covered The Room, and I was like, I need to watch this again.
Yeah.
The problem is I work overnight at a hotel, so a lot of times I'm listening to your show while I'm at work and like doing my rounds or sitting at the desk and doing reports. So by the time I get home, I've totally forgotten what my plan was.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, it makes your day go a lot faster. I mean,
yeah.
if you're listening to our melodious voices.
Well, I was
nothing
listening
but
to-
entertainment.
I don't know if this is cheating or not, but I knew I was doing the initials game here today, so I was
No, you
going
should
back
listen to those. That's good.
and I downloaded the initials game, and I was listening to the Halloween one you guys did, and you guys got to the clue that was Nev Campbell, and none of you got it.
I couldn't get it. I could not think of it.
I couldn't
You're
scream
yelling at
because I was walking the halls at like 3:00 in the morning doing spot checks, and I was just like, Nev Campbell, damn it, Nev Campbell. But
That was probably my favorite one that I've ever done. Was that Halloween one? I loved
That was
putting
fun.
that one together.
so
I do have a follow-up question for you too, Derek.
Sure.
Is it? I don't know if it's like a regional thing, but you don't seem on your show you now either to have much of a Canadian accent. What's that about?
Oh yeah.
my accent is the normal Canadian accent.
Really?
You're talking about like the hosers, eh?
Yeah.
Those
You
exist.
should have said, Brad. What you should have finished that by saying, "What is that about?"
Yeah,
True.
a boot. Yeah, I know. The thing is, okay, I'll let you in on a secret. Canadians, obviously, we know our reputation, and we know we say a boot. So when we catch each other saying a boot, we call each other out. So like somebody will be talking, it's like, oh yeah, I was over there, and it was a boot to say this. It's like, you said a boot.
You're shaming yourselves out of it.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't think you'd even hear it because it's like
Oh,
we don't
no.
hear. I do hear sometimes hear a Minnesotan accent, but like
I
until
do.
Fargo came out, I didn't really know much that it was a thing. And
No,
then
I
it's
didn't
like,
think
okay, now
about
I
it.
can hear some people that have a pretty thick one.
I've been told that I have a Minnesota accent.
You
and
all
I
do.
don't even.
You all do.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah, and
I used to work in a call center here in town for T-Mobile. I used to do customer care for T-Mobile. And I can tell you the Minnesotans are probably the second nicest people that I've ever spoken to on like over the phone. Hawaiians are the number one because they live in Hawaii
sure.
and they don't
Right.
have anything
Yeah,
to worry
yeah.
about.
Care in the world.
So you're not going to beat them.
Yeah.
But there were certainly some accents on there, and I could tell you stories for days about working in a call center. But the Minnesotan accent, I always heard, and I hear it when I listen to your show, and I not so much when I listen to the 70s versus the 80s. They don't tend to have it, but you guys definitely. Brad for sure, Pete for sure.
Wow,
Giff sometimes.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
no idea.
That's awesome. I wonder
yeah,
if
totally.
the 70s and 80s guys, they grew up in the metro, right, Brad?
Yeah.
Yep. And we were more country guys. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. We're out in rural Minnesota rather than in the metro area.
Could be that,
Although I
that
think
city folk.
I think the thick accent is more associated with northern Minnesota, where we're all
Yeah.
from southern Minnesota. So I don't know,
Right.
but maybe I
Maybe.
don't know. We
That
just
could
don't
be.
even
Right.
realize it.
Yeah.
Matt, thank you for your patience. You've been sitting there very, very quietly and patiently. Our third guest is Matt from the Spinning the Wheel podcast, which he'll tell you about. And I'm just really excited to have you on. We've gotten to know you, or I have at least, through Twitter especially. And I feel like, from what I've heard, we have very, very similar backgrounds. The way we grew up, we're from the same graduating class. And so it's exciting to have you on here. And go ahead, take it away, Matt.
Well, it's good to be here, guys. Thank you. You all sound like Minnesota. I'm just going to tell you. So there you have it.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a choice. So, my podcast is Spinning the Wheel podcast. I stole from a fellow Canadian, from Derek. There's a podcast called And the Podcast Will Rock, which is a podcast that deep dives into the Van Halen catalog, which I absolutely love Van Halen. So I stole their podcast completely and totally and made it about the artist George Michael. So that's the podcast that I do. I deep dive into his legacy in music, and I have guests on, and I have people who are connected to the music and different people in that kind of sphere. I had Richard Marx on. I had famous DJs from Britain on. I had record producers on, things like that. So biographers, book writers. So it's really cool. We do that podcast once a week. It's pretty exciting. But like Sean said, and like those guys said, the commonality that we all share, the things that we all are so – I listen to your shows, and it's like the next thing that you say is the thing that I would say. or the reference point that you have is the reference point that I would have, Friday nights at 7:00 watching Dukes of Hazzard because we were on Central Time and those kind of things. So I love that experience. It's so cool to be part of it. I was part of the podcast with Sean where he whipped his clothes off. When he stood up a minute ago, I thought it was about to happen.
Hey, man.
He stands up and I thought the shirt was coming off. So
No, I know I can stop my camera. Is there a way we can stop his camera if he keeps standing? If he stands up too quick.
We're getting close.
Yeah, you got the 2-minute warning there. So
That's right.
no, but I really appreciate the camaraderie in the community is just so cool. We all go back and forth, and I just want to say right now before we even start, I'm choosing list 2. That's it.
Oh,
whatever it may be.
Excellent.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
there you go.
How did you settle on George Michael? Like, where did the bands or whatever you could have picked from? How did you get to that?
Sure. I grew up as a huge George Michael fan back in the day, and still am. And it's one of those things where I literally, and I've told the story before. My best thoughts in the world are in that like 5 minutes between when you wake up and when you actually get up. Right? There's that 5 minutes where you talk yourself into not quitting your job or talk yourself into not leaving your family. Those 5 minutes. And I was on vacation at Christmas time a couple of years ago, and I thought I'd listened to this Van Halen podcast the whole way down there. And one guy, Corey Morissette from Canada, he's amazing. His co-host is a guy from Nashville who's not really amazing. But and I listened to this show and I thought, I used to be on a podcast back in Kansas where I'm from with some buddies of mine, and I haven't done it in a long time. And I wonder if I could do something like that. And I don't know what it might be. And I kind of thought like, I like that idea of being able to sort of have a defined number of episodes that you would do, right? So if it's a group, if it's an artist or whatever, they recorded 142 songs. That's your episode count, like sort of beginning and ending. And I just thought, I wonder if there's like a George Michael podcast, and then I realized there's not, because if there was, I would know about it. That's one of the things I like is podcasts and kind of deep diving into the things that I enjoy. And I just kind of thought, well, there's people have done Billy Joel podcasts. I love that. Elton John podcasts are great. Metallica podcast, Van Halen podcast, all those kind of things, which I liked, movie podcasts, all those kind of things. But I thought there's nothing like this. I wonder if I could do this. And, lo and behold, I put it together, and, 2.5 years later, we're still cranking episodes once a week. So nice. It's really cool to be a part of. It's chasing down guests every week and sometimes pestering folks to come on for 2 at a time. But it's really cool. And I do dig the community. I love connecting with people who have sort of the same stories as we have. I was, Sean mentioned Dave and Rob from the Total the 80s and 90s podcast. They did their mixtape of 1989, I believe it was. And it was all these like radio bumpers from different radio spots back in the day, and the things they were saying about their different songs they loved. And I was just like, man, these guys are all like in my head. And I hear you guys, except for the Knight Rider issue, but I'm going to leave it at that right now. I'm not going to bring it up. Except for that,
you weren't the only ones in that.
You weren't, but you were also the ones who put Night Court through to the final. So I'm not going to name names. But it's just so cool to hear these shows and to hear, and people have sent me notes too saying, hey, I love this song. And when you said, whatever this was, I was thinking the same exact thing in 1991 or whatever. And I just love that. So it's really cool for me to hear you guys' show and you guys take it through the different years and all that kind of stuff. And it's all right there. I love it. I really appreciate it. So it's really cool to be a part of.
Well, speaking of music podcasts and set number of things, whenever I'm done with these guys, or if we have a break or something, I've said before I want to do an REM versus U2 podcast, and I've already got like 65 episodes like planned out with like nothing to do. But so I got it all figured. I just need to know like how I'm going to do it, who's going to do it, and what's it going to look like. So
oddly enough, as I'm speaking to you today, I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and I believe there was some anniversary today because I didn't know this until today, that the video for Everybody Hurts was filmed here in San Antonio on the highway in like 1992 before they had 47 highways here. And they're doing like a celebration of that here in town today. Cool. So it's, yeah.
That's one
so
of my favorite
got out of their
videos.
cars and Everybody got out of their cars on the highway and just started walking away. It was weird, but it's a whole thing. So I didn't realize that was here in town. So who knew?
So, and did you grow up in a small town?
So I grew up in a town of 1,000 people outside of Topeka, Kansas.
Okay, just like
and
us.
then,
Okay.
and then also in Wichita, Kansas, where I'm mostly from, where I graduated high school from. But yeah, when you guys will talk about different things in Minnesota, Kansas, it's the same thing. Listening to Gift talk about going to football practice and rolling up and all that stupid stuff, all that same stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just like it's amazing how really connected those things are, and sometimes we feel like we live in our own little worlds and we don't realize it's the same shit. It's just everywhere you go, it's the same stuff.
Well, and the wildest connection of all was when you randomly posted about Savannah Smiles the day that we put out an episode where we talked about Savannah Smiles, a movie that I thought nobody in the world remembered but me. And I'm like, well, we got to get this guy on our show. That was
better me than Bootsy, but hey, whatever. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for being on. You have wonderful stories. We could go on. I love hearing about it. But that's our diverse stable of guests that we've got there tonight. I'm going to turn it over to Gifford now for a while, because unless you guys have other questions you want to ask these guys.
No, I'm good. I mean, excellent stories there, and getting to let our audience know who we are if they're unfamiliar. So, no, I think I'm just going to jump into our rules of the game for tonight. So we have done this, I think, 3 times now. I think this will be our 4th.
Sounds about right.
Yep. So this is a game that I stole from a morning show that I listen to in the morning. They do it every Friday. But I did a little tweak to it, so it's not a complete and utter ripoff. So there are 12 two-word items that pertain to the summer season. That's going to be our theme here for tonight. They could be a person, place, thing, whatever. Each item has 6 clues that I will read. I'll give the first initial for the first item. And as I read clues, if you think you know the answer, say your name. Your name is your buzzer. After I call on you, give your answer within about 5 seconds or so. If you get it right, you get a point and a chance to answer a trivia question relating to that item.
Well, you have trivia questions too.
I have a trivia question.
I thought you said there was 15 this time.
Yeah, I ran into some issues when I was putting this together, so I went down to 12.
Okay.
So
yeah,
sorry
don't
about
bring that up.
Yeah, Courtney brought it up last night too. She goes, "Hey, you said there was 15." I go, whatever. There's 12. So if you get it right, you get a chance at that trivia question for a second point. If you get the item wrong, you're out just for the remainder of that item. You can get back in on the next one. If you ring in first and you give you must give an answer. If you ring in while waiting for somebody else to answer, if they give a wrong answer, you can opt out and keep listening to clues. You don't have to necessarily answer if you ring in while you're waiting. Let's see here. After an item is answered, the last initial for that item will be the first initial for the next item. So it's just
so
kind
to
of
clarify, all the answers are 2 words.
2 words.
So the first initial he gives is the first word.
Yep. And then you got to come up, and then we have a theme of summer. So some of these things, I mean, I come from a cold weather state, so I associate all these things with summer. If you're in a warm weather area, you might, say, well, that's not just for summer. But some of these items could be not just summer, but for me they are.
Quick question about that.
Yeah.
Quick question about that. I assume these are all American summer items. There's nothing going to be like a picnic in Moose Jaw, that kind of question.
Well, I mean, I don't think so.
You
I don't
never know.
I will say I do not have Moose Jaw as one of the answers. I'm just going to give that away.
No, okay.
No medicine hat, no Thunder Bay. Sorry.
That would have been
Go
hilarious
Newfoundland,
if you
no?
did. Like, God damn it.
The initials are MJ.
Right. Exactly. So just for an example, I'd say the first initial for an item is G. I read a bunch of clues. One of them may be he played an FBI agent chasing aliens in 1990. Someone gets the answer of Gary Busey. That was from, Predator 2. Therefore, the first initial of item 2 would be
B.
B.
It would be.
Busey. Yes. So that's the way we'll go. And we'll reiterate before I start each one, what's the first initial of this item? If there is a tiebreaker at the end of the 12 items, or if there's a tie, I do have tiebreaker items. Those will just be between the people that are tied at the end of the 12 items. Those only have 3 clues each. So, is everybody ready to go?
Yeah, I think so.
I am ready.
All right. I do have some fun sound effects. So if you get an answer right, you will hear. Everybody hear that all right?
No,
No.
I heard
Oh,
a click.
No?
it's just like
No.
a click sound. And
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's no good.
Oh,
Well, maybe
no.
that's not going to work.
uh-oh.
Now that we have a new
You'll just have to
Um,
recreate the old sound effect that they took away from you yourself.
well, yeah, that's no fun. All right, well, we won't have fun sound
Da-da-da-da-da.
effects.
Do you need
Actually,
applause? Do you need
You could go Michael Winslow on it, right, and make your own sound.
Yeah, that'd be outstanding. I
Do you-
I
Do
did
you
forget
need
to put together.
applause if someone gets it right?
We can do that. Yes, we can do applause.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna make my score sheet. I probably should have did that earlier.
Should have
Yeah,
did.
Sorry, fellas.
Only known about it for a week or so. It's okay.
While you're
Brad-
doing that, Gifford, I wanted to share one thing today.
Yeah.
So it's our last week of school, and so like we've all given up. It's
We've
and
all
about-
given up.
me and a bunch of 8th graders just sitting there trying to get through. But this kid that I have, he's one of my favorite kids. He's awesome, and he loves cars, and he went to a car show this weekend. And he had told us on Friday he was going to the car show. So he said, I went to the show, and I said, is it a car show? He said, yeah. And he said that he met Daisy Duke at this car show, like in Farmington, Minnesota. And I was like, what are you talking about, Daisy Duke?
Catherine.
And he actually
Catherine Bach?
he showed me a picture. He met Catherine Bach and has a picture with her from this weekend. She was just here, and I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Oh,
Wow.
So this lucky 8th grade kid got to meet the real Catherine Bach, Daisy Duke.
Okay.
And that was pretty cool, though, to see it and have a kid tell me that.
And
love
he-
you
By the way,
love
that
a little
was really
shuck
good.
and jive.
That was well done, Brad, having a filler story ready for knowing
Yeah.
that Gifford wasn't going to be prepared.
Yeah.
I was
And
not
so-
prepared.
Anyway, go back
Professionals
to
here.
our
And
Dukes
that
of Hazzard episode from about 2 months ago. That's a wonderful episode. Go back and listen.
That 8th grader is now fully into puberty. So congratulations.
Yes.
I said, so what are you going to do with that picture when you get home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
no kidding.
We faded by the end of the week. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, so here we go. We again, our theme is summer, so things to do with summer here. Our first initial of item 1 is L.
L.
All right, and also I will say on a few of these I will accept different answers, as long as they're on my list of what I will accept. So first
You
initial
reserve
of,
the right to judge.
You are the
yes of item 1 is L. All right, clue number 1. Judd Nelson had one in 2000. These may include logs.
Include what?
Logs.
Logs, like Lincoln
Logs.
logs.
Like a
Yes.
log, a part of a tree.
Not that I had a log, not in the sense you thought I said I did. Clue number 3. Sandra Bullock had one in 2006.
Derek,
Derek?
Lake House.
I will accept Lake House. Yes, I had Lake Cabin, but Lake House
Lake
is
Cabin.
correct.
Good answer.
Yes, so that's a point
Well
for
done.
Derek. Derek, I have a trivia question just
Okay.
for you. What 2010 movie centers around a group of friends reuniting at a lake cabin after their childhood coach dies?
Yeah. Being the guy from the movie podcast, I should know this. People getting together after their coach dies. No. Coach Carter? I don't know. Maybe the end
That-
of Coach Carter. I never saw it.
That is incorrect. This movie also has 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is Grown Ups.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
10% of Rotten Tomatoes. That does belong on my podcast.
Yes, it does
Yeah.
belong in your podcast. So that one's Grown Ups. They're at a lake cabin.
Actually,
Grown
Grown Ups is not a bad movie. Grown Ups 2.
Sure. They
That's
should
the
have
Adam
cut it off.
Sandler one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chris Rock and Spade, and yeah. All right, so the answer I had written down was Lake Cabin. So that means the first initial
C.
for item 2 is
C.
C. All right.
C.
Clue number 1. Once performed at a beauty contest in Hawaii. Clue number 2. Examines a darker side. Clue number 3. Oddly, for some of us, could be associated with the first day of school. Clue number 4. Debuted in 1983, but blew up in 1984. Clue number 5. Although not included on the soundtrack, this song was featured in The Karate Kid. And
Matt.
the last, Matt,
Cruel Summer.
that is correct. All right, trivia
done.
question for Matt. The most popular remake of this song was a top 10 hit for this group.
What is Hazy Shade of Winter?
That is incorrect. It is
Oh.
Ace of Base. Came out
Ace
with a
of
remake.
Oh, Cruel
of-
Summer. I'm thinking of the Bangles. All right. And I
nope.
also did Jeopardy for no reason whatsoever.
Jeopardy all
That
the time.
happens all the time. That'll
Every
happen.
single time we do this.
Ace
Absolutely.
Of Base.
Ace of Base had a top 10 version of Cruel Summer.
Yep.
They did. They did in
Wow.
like 1995, and it
I
actually
have
wasn't
no
bad.
memory of that.
Although I'm convinced Ace of Base is absolutely fictitious. I don't think they ever really existed. That's all. I'm gonna say.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is the first initial of number 3 here?
Yes.
S.
Yes.
That is correct. All right. Clue number 1 varies greatly. Clue number 2, for some, is a necessary evil. Clue number 3, may be temporary or last for years. Number 4,
Brad.
go ahead, Brad.
Sunburn.
That is not correct. Brad is out just for the rest of item number 3.
Oh. Hold on, Brad has
Thank
to
you, Brad.
take off a piece of clothing now, right?
That's right.
Skin to win. Skin to win. Let's
Oh,
go.
I was gonna guess. Now I'm not gonna.
Right?
Can't see below the camera, Pete. I'm way ahead of you.
You'd have to see way below that camera. All right. All right. Clue number 4, not exclusive to students.
Derek.
Derek?
Summer break.
That is not correct. All right, Derek, out just for the rest of this item.
Pete.
There you go.
Pete.
Pete. Go
Summer
ahead.
school. Summer school.
Ah,
That is
Oh.
not correct.
Ooh.
Pete is out. We're just down to Derek and Matt here for the rest of this. And we got two
Fine, Matt.
clues left. Often, no experience is required. And the final clue, common ones are mowing lawns, lifeguard, and camp counselor.
Sean,
Matt.
Oh.
Go ahead.
summer job.
Yeah.
Summer job is correct for Sean.
Woo!
All right, Sean.
Uh-oh.
Here's your trivia question. This may be the hardest one on here. If Johnny Castle loses his summer job at Kellerman's, what job will he do with his uncle?
Mechanic.
That is incorrect. House Painters and Plasterers Union.
Ah. Rick
All
Flair
right.
did not bring me any
That's
good
Dirty Dancing, right, Gifford?
That is Dirty Dancing.
Your
Yes, I
favorite
think
movie.
Jenny would have known that one, Pete.
Yeah.
My wife
She
would
would
have.
have. My wife would have known that for sure.
Yep.
Well, I
I
think
had
Pete,
to-
it's very nice that we let all 3 of the guests get the first one.
That's right.
Now we can join the game.
Brad and Pete. Brad
Now
and
we
Pete are
now
gonna
we
come on strong.
go in for the kill.
I should have asked this before. Is there a kind of language barrier? I know you guys tend to keep it clean on this show, so
You can do what you need to do,
God,
but
no.
Okay.
we're not too worried
I'm
about
not
it.
gonna-
encourage.
We just
encourage
don't like
profanity.
people that swear all the time for no reason. That's like
Right? Yeah, that's
Okay.
no fun.
that's not our style.
That's gift.
If you get one wrong and you just go
Classy swearing,
that's
well-timed
understandable.
I was going to release a few
Yes.
Canadian slang
Tastefully
words.
done.
But
Oh, good lord!
I mean, we just did a South Park episode, so it's,
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't get away from it there. All right, so item number 4 is going to start with
Jay.
Yay.
J. There you go. All right, clue number 1 occurs all around the world. Clue number 2 may include travel. Number 3 is a big deal in the Philippines. Clue number 4 has seen the end of 3 presidents and the beginning of another. Clue number 5, often called by another name.
Matt,
Matt,
July 4th.
that is correct. Very
Wow.
nicely done. So
Okay,
the big
explain
deal in the
president clue to
Philippines,
me.
3 presidents have died: Jefferson, Adams, and Monroe on the 4th of July,
They
and
have?
Calvin Coolidge was born on the 4th of July.
Wow, just like
Two
you.
Yeah,
Two of
just like
them died on the exact same day, too.
the
right?
exact same day. Yep, Jefferson and Adams in 1826.
Sounds like you should have got that one right, Pete.
Yeah,
I
come
should
on
have.
now.
Can I get
All
a
right,
point
Matt.
for that?
No.
God.
All right, Matt, here you go. Here is your trivia question. What Oscar award-winning movie had its final scene set to play out on July 4th, 1976?
This is one of 2. Okay, if I get it wrong, I'm going to swear. I'm going to go with Jaws.
That is incorrect. What's the correct answer, Matt?
Fuck. Is it Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
No.
Well, I wasn't even close. Doesn't matter.
It is Rocky. He was
I
going
was
to
going
take
to say Rocky.
Oh,
on the bicentennial
Jaws
in
was what
Philadelphia.
I was thinking. Jaws. That's a July 4th movie for
That was
sure.
a
Go
great
with the July
guess.
And it
4th.
took it came out during that year, I think, or 77.
Yeah, somewhere
76
close
or
to there.
77.
But yeah,
Jaws was
Yeah.
75.
So I'm good with Gibbs
Okay.
arcane trivia, word association clues. When it comes to actual trivia questions, I just shit the bed. Okay, noted.
Well, nobody's got one right yet, have they?
no, nobody's got one quite yet. So Matt's in the lead with 2. Sean's got 1. Derek's got 1. And we are moving on to item number 5, which starts with
F.
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 That
Yeah.
is correct.
Not the number 4.
Not the Courtney said that last night. She thought that would be funny. She was one of my test subjects on this. All right, so item number 5. Clue number 1, popularized in the mid 20th century. Clue number 2, used for corporal punishment in Latin American countries. Clue number 3, developed as far back as ancient Egypt. Clue number 4, includes a thong. Clue number 5,
Matt,
Matt,
flip flop.
that is correct.
I was thinking fireworks up until that last
I
one.
even had
Yeah.
flip-flop. I didn't say it.
Yeah, I don't know why not.
I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, here we go. Matt, here's your trivia question. In which 1988 movie did we learn the rules for when it's okay to let fungus grow on your flip-flops?
That would be the immortal. When you win 20 in the show, you can let the fungus grow back on your flip flops. People will think you're colorful. Until you
That is
do,
correct.
means you're a slob. That is Major League.
Yeah.
No, it's Bull Durham. I said it wrong.
You got
I said it wrong. Oh, come on. I said it wrong. I know the whole speech. I know the whole
this. He gave me the whole speech from Bull
That is
Durham.
amazing that you got the whole quote.
Wow.
You cannot accept that.
I can't. I can't. I got unscribbled
hurts.
the point where he gave you. Oh no. Oh,
Well,
that's
now you really have to take off an article of clothing.
yeah.
Wow.
You got to leave
I-
Jabu's rum alone.
That's right.
I'm gonna let the Knight Rider shit go now at this point, boys. Wow.
Speaking of shit, and
Women
said on
don't
the
get
confident.
weary. They get weary.
Oh,
I need
they
some
do
more
get weird.
diabetic medicine. Apparently, that's what
telling
that
you.
is.
Screw you, Jabu. I'll do this myself.
That was outstanding. Okay, all right.
I
So
don't know if he ever actually said it, just so the audience knows. Did you say it's Bull Durham?
He did.
Just
He
for
did say
I,
clarity.
Bull
I
Durham.
realized I
As he was
Yeah.
finishing Major
All right.
League, he switched to Bull
Yeah.
Durham all in
I
one.
got the back part of the G sound in league out, and all of a sudden, no. Christ.
Facial expression was great. It was like
Yes,
normal,
it was
normal.
like-
normal.
It was.
Realization. Oh man. All right. So we've got item number 6 starts with
F again.
F again. It's F again. All right. Clue number 1 may include palms, chrysanthemums, peonies, and willows. Clue number 2 best done outdoors. Clue number 3 may be private or public. Clue number 4 should require supervision. Clue number 5 not reserved only for summer months. And finally, these displays are a big part of Independence Day nights.
Pete,
Sean.
I heard Pete first.
I did. Yeah. He got me.
fireworks show.
That is correct. Pete, here you go. You're going to get the first one right here on the trivia, I think.
I hope so. I need it, man.
All right. Which NFL player lost a finger in a fireworks accident?
A fireworks accident? 'Cause
On the 4th of
I
July.
was gonna say Ronnie Lott
That was a helmet.
I don't even. I'll say Ronnie Lott. I don't know the answer.
That is anybody else?
Can I steal it and get my trivia back?
Now you can
give us the answer.
I believe it was Jason Pierre-Paul.
That's correct.
There we go.
That is correct. All right. So we are halfway through our game. We have Pete with 1, Derek with 1, Sean with 1, Matt with 3, and Brad just looking good.
I'm still here, El Guapo.
All right. Item number 7 starts with
S.
S. That is correct. All right. Clue number 1 can include 2 or more people.
We got some ideas, but I'm not going to say it.
Clue number 2 usually short term.
Pete's still thinking the same thing.
Sean.
Skinny dipping.
Oh my God.
That is not correct.
Oh,
I like
good
where your
guess.
head's at. I like where your head's at.
That is a
Pete,
Gifford
Pete.
style guess there.
Listen, it was either that or smoking sounds. I didn't know which one to go with.
I'll throw a guess out there, Pete.
All right, go ahead, Pete.
Synchronized swimming.
Ah!
Now you're out, Pete. You blew that
Now,
one.
now you're out of that one.
All
right. Yeah, why not?
Said
Hey,
2
throw
or
it
more
out there.
people. Yeah.
Short term, short
Summertime
season.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Clue number 3. Maybe with a previously unknown person. Clue number 4. Associated with, but not exclusive to, teenagers. Clue number 5. Ends when school begins.
Matt,
Matt,
summer school.
Brad,
that is not correct. Brad,
summer break.
that is not correct.
Oh,
Oh,
All right, Derek, you get this last
This is probably
clue
the worst.
all to yourself. All right, final clue. This relationship occurs anytime from June through August.
Oh, summer love,
I'm not gonna accept that.
summer fling.
Summer fling.
Summer fling.
Shit.
Damn.
Yes.
I mean, moose knuckle. Right?
So I did look up summer love.
Canadian squares.
I was thinking about including summer love, but it was never used as a term to explain like the
The
relationship. Like
Right.
you know. So,
What about
yeah.
Greece?
But
That's where I got it
That's-
from.
yeah, it's not. I
It's
wrestled
right in
with
the
it, but
lyrics
I
of the
didn't.
song.
It's a Canadian term. They'd use it in Canada.
All right, this
Oh,
is what we're
summer
gonna do.
love there,
Since nobody got it right, we're gonna go with the trivia question, and everybody can answer.
Oh,
So
boy, here we
ring
go.
in
So,
Ring
okay,
it
so we can ring
if
it.
you know this one.
Skinny dipping.
All
I
right,
usually was gonna say swinger
Sure.
party, but I didn't think that was right.
right.
He's about to show you skinny dipping here in a minute. Go ahead.
I'm a little worried. All right, trivia question: Cammy and Buck had one in which 1988 movie?
Matt,
Matt,
The Great Outdoors.
that is correct. You got that point back. All right,
Should have got that. Stars 2 Canadians. John Candy and Dan Aykroyd.
that's right.
Right.
Okay,
Defend
so
my country's honor here.
we're up to item number 8. Starts with
F.
F.
F
that is
again.
correct. F again.
A lot of F's.
Yeah. All right. Clue number 1. First seen in 1983. However, its origins are from 1979. Clue number 3 is a replacement. Clue number 4, primarily brown and green. Clue number 5, can fly up to 50 yards.
Pete.
Brad?
I heard Brad.
I heard Brad, yeah.
Ford LTD.
I definitely.
That is not correct.
I
Pete,
said
do
my
you-
name way before
Pete.
you.
Yeah,
Pete.
you did. Pete,
Go
ahead,
the
Pete.
family truckster. Family
That is-
truckster.
that is correct.
God, what am I thinking?
Well, the fact is that it was modeled on a 1979 Ford LTD.
I know. My brain is not working tonight.
My final clue on this: if you think you hate it now, wait till you drive it.
I had the family truckster in my head all along, but I didn't think of I knew the car, like a clue too.
All right, Pete, here is your trivia question. And I should just mark it down as you getting it correct. What is the official paint color of the truckster?
Electric P.
He got it
Electric
wrong.
He
P.
got it wrong.
Oh my God.
I thought that
Metallic
was your
Pete.
metallic
Metallic.
P.
Oh.
You named yourself Metallic
I was
P when we
close.
did the show.
I forgot.
All right, I thought for sure you had that one. All right, so Pete with the point there. He's up to 2. Matt's got 4. Pete with 2. Derek and Sean with 1. Brad's still looking good. All right. So our 9th item starts with
T.
T.
Can't
All
even
right.
anymore.
Accompanied by a distinct sound. Clue number 2. You can get these on your phone or TV. Clue number 3. Tend to be urgent.
Pete.
Pete,
Tornado warning.
that is correct. Whew. All right, Pete, here we go. Trivia.
Come on, Sean. We're from Kansas and Oklahoma, respectively. How do we not get that?
Ain't no love in Oklahoma.
You think a guy from Canada is going to get tornado warning?
I couldn't finish a show in the 80s because I was getting tornado warnings every night with the weatherman showing me the damage.
Listen,
Yep.
there's a good chance I may get one here in a minute.
There you go. Well,
Well, we got a storm coming too here.
Yeah. All right, Pete, here we go. 1996's Twister had 2 Oscar winners in its cast. Name one of them.
Helen Hunt.
Oh, he got it.
That is correct. Nice job.
Philip
Any
Seymour
idea
Hoffman,
who the
isn't it?
second one was, people?
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Seymour Hoffman.
That is correct.
That's right. I
Yes.
forgot he was in it.
Yeah, he was one of the
Dusty.
storm chasers in the
Yeah.
Winnebago. Or was it in the? Did he drive the Winnebago?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
Lone
unfortunately,
Star.
the Academy overlooked Joey Slotnick, so it's okay.
All right. So our item number 10 starts with
All right, I got 3 left here.
I don't know. What does it start with? Sorry.
W.
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 ARP
W.
in Cincinnati.
All right. Most popular in the U.S. and Australia. Sorry, Derek.
Racists. All right.
Can
Not
be
racist.
done individually.
It's not racist. Sorry. sorry. All right.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Can be done individually or as a team. Clue number 3. Invented in 1922 in Minnesota.
Derek. Wiffle
Derek?
ball?
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Sean,
Sean,
wakeboarding.
no.
Damn it.
All right. Clue number 4. Can be started wet or dry. Clue number 5. Competitions include slalom, jump, and trick.
P.
Matt,
Oh,
got it now.
Man,
Brad.
who was it? Was it Matt or Pete?
I heard Pete.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
couldn't
thought,
hear
it,
it.
I thought it was me too, but I'm biased. So
I don't know. What do you guys think? I couldn't tell.
I think I should. You give it to me
He
instead.
could have just been louder.
Yeah, that could be.
Pete was louder. I think I felt like I heard Matt first, but I have no idea.
It's time to Rochambeau.
okay. we
Yeah,
can
let's
that.
do that. Go do you want odds or evens, or we want to rock paper scissors it?
We could do
Dealer's
odds,
choice.
odd or even.
Let's do odd or even. Matt, I'll give you the option. Do you want odds or evens?
even.
All right, Pete, what do you got? You got odds, so 1, 2, 3, and hit, and put up a 1 or a 2, and we'll see what you guys got.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
All right, I got
Even.
evens. So who is even?
Me, Matt. That was
All right.
that was the most oddly timed.
Yeah, it always is. It makes
No,
it
I think
fascinating radio.
The video is a
So
little
just-
bit off. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Matt
All right.
gets it, but
Matt,
he gets
what-
the answer.
Water ski.
That is correct.
That's
Oh,
what
man. I
that's
was
what I would have guessed. Yep.
Second and a
so
half late.
close.
So the wakeboarding, that wasn't invented in 22, so that's why that one wasn't in there. All right, Matt, here's your trivia question. Featuring water skiing, this female group's 1982 hit reached number 8 on the Billboard Top 100.
I got that one too.
You can name the song or the group, whichever one.
I bug her on Instagram trying to get her on my show. Travels with Mrs. Mason. Belinda Carlisle fronted the Go-Go's.
That is correct. Vacation, which oddly enough, Vacation, the album, also reached number 8 on the Billboard Top 200 in 1982. So, all right, we're going to give a quick score recap here as we're
Please
down
don't.
to item number 11. Matt in the lead with 6 points.
Ooh.
Pete at 4. Derek and Sean with 1 early on. Brad, come on now.
Spoiler. Spoiler coming.
There's still 4 points up for grabs
Cannibal
here.
coming.
So Pete is really the only one who can catch Matt here. But everybody else, keep playing.
That last question was huge. The
Yeah,
fact that
it was.
Rochambeau
That's
was going to come down to that. God.
Yep.
yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten that one right, though. I wouldn't have gotten the.
Oh, you weren't
the
going water
bonus.
skiing?
Well, I would have got water skiing, but the bonus I wouldn't have got.
Okay.
How would you not have got? That's the easiest one of the
I
night.
don't.
That is the easiest bonus so far.
Jeez.
I'm going with Major League for the answer for.
I thought Major League was the easiest one.
No, Bull Durham, Bull Durham. Yeah.
What would have been great is if Matt would have like sung all the lyrics to the song and then said it
And
was
then
by like
The Bengals.
I thought he was going to get it wrong. I thought that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. It'd be hard to do considering vacation is in the lyrics and then he doesn't say vacation. That'd be
You never
outstanding.
know.
All right. So item number 11 starts with
Yes.
yes. All right. Clue number 1, first revealed in 1974. Clue number 2 includes up to 4 triangles. Clue number 3 is a variation from the original. Clue number 4 includes 2 pieces. Clue number 5 requires knots. And the final
Brad.
clue, Brad,
I don't know. Sailboat.
that is not correct. And I think sailboat's one word.
I was thinking the same though. Sailboat. You could say sailboat.
Well, so is Moose Jaw, but we were going to count that.
Sa-
I'm with you, Brad. That was a good answer.
Thanks, Pete.
All right, final clue. This skimpy 2-piece swimwear was inspired by Brazilian beach goers.
What?
Sean.
Sean,
Swimsuit.
that is not quite right.
Damn.
Anybody else? All right, nobody's getting that one. On the string bikini.
I just noticed.
Ring bikini.
Yes.
Damn.
All right, we're going to have a toss-up trivia.
Yes, here we go.
Major
All
League.
right, here we go. Say your name. Your name is your buzzer. This singer/actress dazzled in a pink string bikini in a 2005 movie.
What?
Sean.
Pete.
Sean,
Oh,
Britney Spears.
that is incorrect. Pete, did you want to give it a swing?
I was going to guess Britney Spears.
Brad.
So
Brad?
I don't know. Jennifer Lopez.
No.
Can I hear it
Matt or
again?
Derek? What's that?
Can I hear it again?
Yeah. This singer/actress dazzled in a pink string bikini in a 2005 movie.
I feel like dazzled is a clue.
Elizabeth Hurley?
That is
No,
not right.
she's not
Matt,
singing.
you want to take a stab?
Justin
That's
can do it.
Jennifer Lopez. So yeah, I don't know.
That is Jessica Simpson in Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh,
One of the funniest
Daisy Duke.
performances ever on screen right
We
there.
time out for a second?
Yeah.
It's my wife's coming home. Hang on.
Okay, sure.
okay. We got that dead body cleaned up and everything out of the back seat of the car.
put your shirt back on, Derek. Jesus, love it.
Just Rhode Island, neither a road nor an island. Discuss amongst yourselves.
Put up Jabu's rum real quick.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Brad, usually
I
a
can do-
good initials
I can
player
do all
cannot
the
get
rest
a
of
single
them.
question right.
I can do all the rest of the things from Bull Durham if you want to. I just can't believe I. Wow.
What I would really like to know, Matt, is what do you believe in?
I believe in the cock and the. I believe Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. I believe, yeah.
I believe in opening your presents on Christmas
Christmas
Eve, not
Day, not
or
Christmas
Christmas Day,
Eve.
not
I
Christmas
believe in
Eve.
high fiber, good scotch.
Yep,
Yeah,
Designated hitter was another one.
that's right.
small of a woman's back,
That's
Well,
right.
not the designated hitter.
not the desert.
Oh, not the.
Is a piece of shit or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. I have a poster with that on it. That was up in my
Yeah.
room
With the
in
novels of
college.
Susan Sontag or self-indulgent crap. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm good. Thank you.
All
All
right,
right,
we're back.
here we go.
Last
We got
chance.
we got Derek back. So here's the deal. Matt has a 2-point lead going into the final question. Pete is the only one who can catch him if he gets this right, along with the trivia. If we end up there, we do have some tiebreakers.
I'm just
So
trying to.
I actually get one
That's all.
right. I keep Pete from winning, and my new friend from Kansas, Matt, wins. So that's good motivation right there.
You'll need that
Correct.
new friend because you're going to lose one if that happens.
I just want to know when I can use my phone a friend to call Dave from Totally 80s and 90s Recall.
Right. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, and what I like, Sean, is you got one right, and you like to take your pants off rather than the shirt. So
Well, hey, look,
Now, see, now you poked the
Oh,
bear
here we
too
go.
much. Now it's coming
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
I poked the bear.
Tart
Oh my
Top
God.
boys.
That's outstanding.
It's chilly
Sweet
time.
tats.
That
Yeah.
is a beautiful nipple ring.
that's
That
right.
was really something.
Hey,
I
you
wasn't-
can't say Britney Spears without a belly button ring.
I would not have guessed Hello Kitty, but okay, it works
Hey,
for you.
This is the first on our show, by the way.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm known for this now. So thanks, Matt.
It is.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You have
It's
a
probably, this is probably
It's
a
part of
first
your
for a
brand.
lot of shows. So.
Yeah,
Thank God we don't put out the video for this.
that's right. You're getting
We don't
clicks
want
there,
you
waiting in.
to
I'm telling you.
lose subscribers.
Funny thing, by the way, forgot to tell you.
Oh, well, hey, wouldn't be the first.
Wait, it wouldn't.
The story we got to put an MA rating on this.
Oh, good Lord.
Smoking
We need
Sounds OnlyFans. It's coming
That's
later on
right.
this year.
We need a
Link in
TNA
bio.
warning on this.
We're starting
That's right.
smoking fans after this.
There you go.
I hope you made this last clue with me in mind, Gifford.
I did, in fact.
Although I should have got Family Truckster. I mean, my God.
Yes, for crying out loud. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. All right, here you go. Brad, you're getting off the schneid right here. You got it. All right, so item number 12 starts with
I forgot.
B.
B. That
B.
is correct. All right, clue number 1, first referenced in a 1870s poem. Clue number 2, this is a slang term. Clue number 3, this is the last name of Phoebe's alter ego, Princess Consuela.
Brad.
Pete.
Banana hammock.
That!
You did it.
That seals the
Damn.
deal for Matt. Matt is our big winner here tonight.
Who's the big winner?
Brad is
Ooh.
off the schneid. And
Thank you, Brad.
yeah,
Anytime. I got
That's
more
right.
coming, though. Give me my question.
you got a question coming,
I can
and
still finish in third place.
I'm guessing you are going to get this correct. Which character in Scrubs loves his banana hammocks?
Well, what's
Oh,
his
come on,
name?
Brad. Oh, come on, Brad.
It's the. I can't think of his name. I can picture him.
That's not going to
Picturing
do
the
it.
banana hammock, are you?
He's the most annoying guy. I can't think of his name. I
It's
don't
Bull
know.
Oh my God.
Anyone?
It's the Todd.
It's the Todd. Yes.
Well, part of the problem, I wasn't going to get it because I couldn't think of it. But I was thinking it had to start with B. My brain is not functioning tonight.
No, it's not. Well, hey, this is our final score. We got Matt, our winner, with 6. Nice job,
Woo.
Matt.
Good job,
Wow.
Matt.
Thank
Pete
you.
had 4. Very good showing by Pete.
Thank you.
And the rest of you had, I'm assuming,
it
a
out
good time
still.
playing with 1 apiece for Derek, Brad, and.
Are you going to give us the tiebreakers just for fun?
Oh, sure. Yeah. All right. So we'll do tiebreakers.
I mean,
These
you
don't
put
have
all
any
that
trivia.
time into making this.
Sure. Well, the tiebreakers go pretty quick because I don't need a trivia question, because if you get it right, that breaks the tie. So these only have 3 clues. It is a chain. I'll give you the first initial for the first one is M. So clue number 1, they are annoying, can be deadly.
Derek.
Derek,
Mosquito bikes?
Oh,
mosquito bites is correct.
I was thinking
Yes.
of mosquitoes. I could not think of the second word.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, so tiebreaker number 2 starts with a B. So are generally larger, tend to be more colorful, a common accessory when going to the lake or ocean.
Brad, beach towel.
That's correct. All right, and the last one starts with a T. Generally occur over the weekend. Often incorporates the area's heritage.
Brad,
Yeah,
town celebration.
I will accept that. I had festival, but celebration will work. Now go get your Albelskiver
That's right.
to celebrate. Yeah. Well, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you again for playing. I love having new people on the show to get to talk with and see your way you can work your way through my silly little game here. So
let's go around and give each person a chance to talk about their show quick again and remind the listener. We'll go reverse order with the winner first, Matt.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. It's Spinning the Wheel podcast. Every Wednesday, we drop a new episode. Got people from America, people from England. I've talked to people from all over the world. It's really cool. Got a lot of cool episodes, and we're taking a little break. So I banked a lot of episodes. I recorded like a ton of episodes in like February and March. So I actually, this week, we have a buddy of mine who's kind of a one-hit wonder from the 80s. His name is Kevin Page. He lives in Memphis. He's a friend of mine. So had him on the show. We talked about a song. We spun the wheel. That comes out this week. As you guys are hearing this, it'll be later on. But really excited about that. And then we're taking a break at the end of June for a couple of months, and we'll pick it back up in the fall. But it's really cool and really dig doing it. And thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you. I did want to ask one more. Like you said, you had Richard Marx on. You're trying to get Belinda Carr. Like how long did it take you, or how did you get to the point where you could get people like that on your show?
So I just kind of got the gist that Richard Marx does his own Instagram. You can kind of feel it, you know. I kind of bug Sammy Hagar the same way, honestly. Not for my podcast, just because I love Sammy Hagar. But I just got the point that he kind of did his own Instagram, and I thought to myself, you know, here's a guy who is in the same context, in the same time frame, the same sort of that softer side of the music. I thought it would be a great opportunity to get him on the show. I just thought it'd be cool, and I just thought, well, hell, why not? I'll go for it. And I just bugged him and bugged him and bugged him, and I would do like little videos, and I would yell. I went to his concert and I yelled out, "Do my podcast!" and just all that stuff. And he laughed and he said, you know, no, thank you or whatever. And then one night I made some comment about something. I can't remember what it was. And I got home I had been out having a couple of drinks, and I got home at like 1:00 in the morning to a message from Richard Marx saying, okay, you know what? You're pretty persuasive. I'll do it if you can do it like a week from Monday. And I was like, hell yeah, I can do it. So I did it. He was the coolest guy. I did not want to talk about George Michael when I was talking to him. I just wanted to talk to him and get his experience and share that. And it was the lowest download episode of my show I've ever had.
What?
So, yeah.
Really?
I thought this was the one that's going to break me into the big time. It's going to get me out of this.
Mm-hmm.
I've got like 5,000 followers. This will be like 20,000 followers. This will be great. And it was literally the lowest download episode I've had. And I just kind of learned that George Michael fans want to hear that and nothing else. Lesson learned.
You didn't know about that George Michael Richard Marx feud that they had going on back then?
Who knew? Who had the best hair
brutal.
in the 80s? Apparently, yeah.
Right.
I thought it was a Wham! Tears for Fears thing, but no, it's one of those things. But it's I've branched out a couple of times with things like that, and it's really cool to do that. And so I'll do it again if I can get Belinda Carlisle. You know, I've exchanged messages with Debbie Gibson, which is like the biggest nerd festival for me.
Oh,
boy,
That's
We love Debbie Gibson.
Yeah.
Believe me, when I saw that I had a message from Debbie Gibson, my nerd box went off. So I believe I understand it. So
we're calling it these days your nerd box.
Exactly right. Exactly right. It was like meeting Daisy Duke in person. Next thing you know, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it is.
So,
You're back in puberty.
yeah. Well, had to get there somehow. So there you go. But no, it's cool, and I just kind of pester people. I don't have any special contacts. I don't know anybody who knows anybody. I've never really had that opportunity.
That's awesome.
I just bug people on social media, and it tends to work out sometimes. So
Sweet.
Matt, I just had a comment because the whole show, you at the beginning of the show, you mentioned Everybody Hurts. And the picture behind your head in your hotel, I kept thinking it was the Automatic for the People cover, but it's not.
No.
But it looks just like
it's some
From a distance.
steel. Yeah, it's some steel girder, and
sure.
I'm gonna start singing the song "Drive" a little bit later on as we.
Just don't forget to do some night swimming tonight.
Rock and roll.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Take your shirt off first.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for being on. Derek, your turn.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a pleasure to be on. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, you can check us out. First off, the Or Is It Movie podcast. We just dropped Trap from last year. Did I say?
You
it?
said out.
You said
Oot.
oot.
Yeah.
Check me out.
Yep.
Yeah. Check us out. Yeah. You hosers. You don't even know what that means, but whatever.
I do.
It's okay.
I'm a
I know.
hockey guy. Come on. I know what a hoser is.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we just released Trap from last year, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. If you've seen that movie, you know how crazy ridiculous that movie was. So that podcast ended up being an hour and 45 minutes of pure hilarity. I love that episode. Coming up next week, we have Star Trek Insurrection. We'll take a good look at that one. That was another fun episode that we just did. Our film studies podcast we're releasing this week. Actually, right after this, I'm jumping on with me and Mark. We're going to talk about Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning 2, and Final Reckoning.
I saw the Mission Impossible. I loved it.
Just spent the last 5.5 hours of the last 24 of my day I've spent watching these two Mission Impossible movies. So
Good movie.
But yeah, no, check us out. Spotify, iTunes. We're on Facebook. I'll see if I can get on Instagram and maybe TikTok, but I'm too old for TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of work.
TikTok. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, thanks guys. And
Thank you.
As much as I love America, elbows up. So
Yes. All right, Sean, what do you got coming up?
All right, so this Saturday on Smokin Sounds, we are going to have a gentleman, Bryce. He owns Silent Hero Cigars. June is Men's Mental Health Month, and the mission behind Silent Hero Cigars is 10% of all their orders go to help veterans with PTSD, service dogs. Just a great mission. Over Christmas, Bryce fed a lot of vets, homeless families. So it's a cigar with a really good mission behind it. And Bryce is just a hell of a guy with a hell of a story. We actually had him on one of our earlier episodes, and he's got a new cigar called 1,000 Yard Stare coming out. And we're going to be one of the first podcasts that he premieres that on. So we're really looking forward to sitting down with him. We just to kind of go back to what Matt was saying is I kind of do the same thing. I bug people on Instagram. I kind of look at it as you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And so we've got a few things in the works. We were able to connect. I too love Sammy Hagar and Guy Fieri, and I knew that the chances of getting connected with them were slim to none. So I went through their Santos Tequila, and we have made that connection. We are actually on Guy Fieri's schedule. We're just kind of waiting on him to let us know when he's going to have time to jump on with us. And Guy's a real cigar guy. He's got cigars with Espinosa called the Knuckle Sandwich. He was just on Joe Rogan talking about him. So Guy is he was at the PCA this year, and he's a real cigar guy. He's not just a celebrity who put his name on a cigar. And Guy does a lot of good things with his foundations, and so does the Red Rocker, Sammy. So hopefully we'll be able to announce a date with that coming in the near future, hopefully this summer. But obviously we're at their mercy. And they asked us if we could be patient, and we said, of course. Another gentleman that was has been on with Jim and Lindsay, Jason the Dram Amateur. He has a really good podcast if you're into spirits. He's going to be joining us, and we're going to do like I said, Justin, my co-host, is visually challenged, and so we're actually going to do an episode this summer called Blind Smoke, where I am blindfolded, and I'm going to see what experience is like.
Wow.
We just had John Huber, who owns Crowned Head Cigars out of Nashville, Tennessee. Probably it is our most downloaded episode, and that just came by chance of messaging. At John's just like Richard. Well, I guess it's like Richard Marks. He runs his own Instagram account, and we got into contact with each other, and he said, "Yeah, man, if you can do it to fit my time, I'd love to be on with you." And so we've been really, really just welcomed into this whole podcast cigar community, and we're at Smokin Sounds Pod wherever you find us. We mostly Facebook and Instagram. TikTok likes to ban us every time we put a cigar on there, so we tend to stay away from that. And I just, look, keep supporting each other, keep supporting what we do. Pop Culture Yearbook, absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's very nice to meet Derek. Mac, so great to see you again, my friend, and thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
This
I
was
think
a lot of fun.
we 3 first-time guests. I think we hit the jackpot here. You guys are all awesome, and thank you. And it's so happy that it worked out the timing. You could all come on tonight.
Right. That's the hard
thank
part
you.
is getting everybody to
Our show
line up. So
normally
thank you.
records this time, so there's nothing for me.
We might look to have you back on again soon. So
Yeah.
we'll be in touch.
Yep.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. A lot of fun. Hey, Gifford,
Hey, what?
you know what band is always taking their clothes off during their shows?
True story. That is Preacher Row. If they show up with any clothes on in the first place.
Well,
Honestly.
they don't even. Their fans take their clothes off for them.
Yeah, rip them off. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you guys for coming on. And we will see you next week.
And congratulations to Matt, the big winner.
Yes,
Matt. I mean, we got to give him a round of applause on the way out.
Yes. Very
Even
good
though
job,
he
Matt.
had one little flub there, he recovered from it.
Yeah.
He earned it.
Didn't hurt him at
Okay.
all. Not at all.
You run like Maze, but you hit like shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
That was a perfect
Bye.
end. Thank you, fellas.
Thanks, guys.
Standing on my own 2 feet. No one's here to comfort me. Sorry for what I have done. Sorry that your song is gone. 7 steps and it will be my last. Next time, tell me on my plan. I turn and I look to you. I'm scared, but there's nothing I can do.